Good evening, everyone. Thank you, ICI Chairman and Vice Chairman and Managing Committee for giving me this opportunity. In fact, this is my second time I am addressing the members. The first time I spoke in Chennai in November month. So hopefully I'll be able to add value to you. The goal of this next 1.5 hours is that you will take away at least one idea which you can implement for your client with respect to the export incentives. So yeah, I look forward to this. So the refund, so again, under refunds there are three things, which is first one is RODTEP scheme, which is the name itself is too big. Remission of duties and taxes on export product scheme. Basically, this scheme gives a refund of taxes which are not getting covered under any other scheme. It's like a residuary scheme. Okay. The next one under refund scheme is duty drawback. In simple terms, this is refund of customs duty on the raw materials or finished goods which we use in our business. The third refund scheme is the popular one which you might have been seeing everywhere, which is GST refund. Again, there are two variants in it. One is refund of input tax credit and refund of GST on exports. The first one is RODTEP, which is basically this scheme allows refund of taxes which were not allowed as refund under any other scheme. So if you take for example, so we might be paying say VAT on petroleum or electricity duty, stamp duty. So all these things are costs. We don't get any credit for these taxes which might be levied by state or the central governments respectively. However, we don't get any credit. It's a hit to the P&L. So if we were to export the products, any products, by using these as input, if there is an export company who is an exporter who is manufacturing goods, he definitely needs electricity. He has to pay electricity duty for which there is no credit. Similarly, he has to run his factory. Invariably, he will have to use petroleum products on which he has to pay VAT, again for which there is no credit. So this scheme is meant to refund those taxes for which there is no credit as on today. So therefore the definition, remission of duties and taxes on export products. Okay, and the brief background to this is that this scheme is introduced in 2021. However, the major event has happened somewhere in 2019. So before this there was a scheme called MEIS, Merchandise Exports from India scheme. So wherein we used to get scrips, which are nothing but certificates based on the value of export of goods we make. However, that is litigated by the US in the WTO, World Trade Organization. Since India is anybody who is a signatory to WTO, they have to follow the rules prescribed by WTO. If somebody doesn't follow it, then any member country can complain against other country. So in this case, the case in point is MEIS, the scheme which was existed prior to 2021. Against that, the US government has filed a petition stating that this is not a remission scheme. As such, the government of India is not compensating any taxes which are actually incurred. So the earlier scheme used to give 4 or 5% based on the value of exports, for which there was no there was no calculation as to why somebody is arriving at 5% or 4%. So this concept of calculating what is the VAT portion went into the exports, what is the electricity duty component which is used in that export product, etc. This back of the envelope calculation was not there, and straight away a single percent of scrips we used to get under the MEIS scheme. Therefore, the US has filed a petition, etc., and then we got an unfavorable order wherein we were to withdraw this scheme. So we have to discontinue this scheme since we are part of the WTO. So given that the government has introduced this scheme from 2021. Ideally, it is supposed to be introduced from 2020. Because of COVID or whatever reasons, it could not be done. So the major shift from the previous MES scheme and this is that the amount of benefit was reduced drastically. Earlier, for suppose if I am exporting steel, so there was about 5% of MES scrip. Under the RODTP scrip, it is reduced to 1 or 2% of the value of the export goods, because that's the only amount which I am paying, for which I am not getting credit. So that's about it. So that's the background about RODTP. So this has come in because the previous MES scrip scheme was litigated at the WTO. So coming to scope, so it is applicable for all products except for those products which are covered under another scheme called ROSTCL, which is meant basically for textile exporters. If I am exporting a textile, again the taxes which are involved at the local level are slightly different. So therefore for them there is a separate scheme, and that was introduced even before RODTP. Okay, so if the goods are textile related, then that are not covered, but all other things are getting covered under the RODTP scheme. And then if there are specific exporters, suppose if somebody using say a scheme called advance authorization, which we discuss in the next couple of slides, and basically if he is importing raw material without customs duty, or if he is using a scheme called EPCG where he can import capital goods without customs duty, so they are not eligible for this scheme because majority of it they are getting there. Earlier this was they are excluded, now they are also getting covered in this. So earlier whoever is covered under advance authorization or SEZ or EPCG, they were excluded from RODTP benefit. Recently, I think it's only a couple of months, from October or so from last year, it is introduced. So therefore, even these units can claim RODTP scrips. And then there are some exclusions wherein if it is a supply from DTA to SEZ, or if it is there are export goods with minimum export value or export duty, then those are not getting covered here. So the main point here is that, like, the single takeaway I think you can take from this is that these scripts are based on the value of exports you make. So basically you will get a certificate, and that certificate can be utilized for paying your customs duty. So the same exporter, usually exports and imports are linked. So if I am an exporter, I invariably use the imports also for my raw materials, majority of the cases, because so that's how the supply chains are linked. So therefore you can utilize these scripts for paying your customs duty on imports. If for some reason if you don't have imports, then we can sell this scrip in the market, which is usually at a discount. Suppose if we get say we have exported some goods worth 10 crores, then we will get a scrips worth, say, which is 2%, we will get about 2 lakhs. 2 lakhs, right? No, 20 lakhs, we will get 20 lakhs. So, so that 20 lakhs, we can utilize it for payment of basic customs duty, which is basically the cost. We will not get any credit. So that you can pay using these scripts. If for some reason we are not able to utilize the scripts because we don't have imports, or we are procuring the same product from a local supplier, then we can sell that scripts. Usually that is at a discount. So if the value in this case is 20 lakhs, we can sell at, say, maybe 5% discount. We will get at 19 lakhs. 19 lakhs worth of it we will get in cash. So, and the same thing can be utilized by whoever buys it. He will get scripts worth 20 lakhs. Basically his profit is 1 lakh. And then if say somebody avails these scripts, so then what is the process for availing? So process is pretty straightforward. Whenever somebody is exporting, they will have to file a document called shipping bill or bill of export. If it is through air or water, they have to file a document called shipping bill. with the customs, and if it is through road for the countries like Nepal, Bhutan, all that, that is called the document called bill of export has to be filed. So in this document we have to there is an option to check the box saying I will be claiming RODTP scrip. So the moment we claim it, check that box, and then the details will be processed by the customs at the back end, and then we will get this scrip through based on our IEC, import export code. So once we get it, this is being maintained in the DGFT portal. There is a credit ledger, etc. Where like the GST credit ledger, there is a ledger for this as well. So we can see it on a day-to-day basis how much scripts we have got, out of which how much we have sold it, how much balance is there, etc. etc. So then one key development with respect to the scripts is that so the new it's been announced only a couple of months back. So whoever is availing these scripts, they have to file a return called annual return, RODTP annual return, like the GST return. So the pain point there is that we have to give the details of those taxes which I explained in the beginning. The electricity duty, the VAT, paid on petroleum products, stamp duty, anything else for which we are not getting credit. So those details we have to give in the return, which I think most of the clients may not be maintaining because it's anyways hit to the P&L. Everybody may not be maintaining at a each head wise, like VAT, VAT, excise duty, electricity duty, etc., etc. So that is one challenge, because in this return we have to give those details. The consequence of not giving those details is that the scripts may not be granted in future. So this is introduced last year only, last calendar year. So whoever has availed in a scripts in a financial year, so they have to file this return by end of that financial year. So therefore, for 24-25, whoever has availed the scripts, they have to file the return by 31st March 2025. So this is one difficulty as of today, because we have to see if this return format gets changed, because most of them may not be capturing those details which the format is asking for.
We have to ask, the duty we have to give only the details. We have to give the electricity bill so and so duty, like that we have to give, or we have to upload the invoice copies also?
No, only summary level, working sir, that number, how much, I think it is an exercise to see whether they are giving actual benefit or more. Suppose if somebody is getting say 10 crores of scripts in a financial year, whether their actual cost is 10 crores or it is less or more is what they intend to check. But the background is that before deciding this 1% or 2%, the Ministry of Commerce has their own methodology basis which they arrived at this 1% or 2%. Because they take representation from the industry, various industries, and they ideally have factored in all of this while arriving at that script percentages. But I think they want to recheck it because of the budget constraints or whatever. So that they may reconsider the rates based on the data. Suppose if the overall scripts granted are say 10,000 crores in a year, then the data from the return only shows only 5,000 crores, then they may reconsider, I guess.
But it will not affect my script whatever I have been received.
Yeah, currently it doesn't affect, but the condition is that if you don't file this return, you will not get scripts in the future. So that's the condition.
Sir, if I do domestic local sales and then I export also, do they ask proportionately or like that or something? See, I do export.
Okay.
I sell locally also. I have only one electricity bill, for example. In that case, how it takes?
No, you have to take proportionately. So the purpose of the return is that what is that
export
uncreditable tax which went to your export. So that is it's a detailed working which we will have to do. It may not be available readily for most of the companies.
What is the awareness level of filing the RODTEP return amongst exporters?
I think the exporters are aware. The only thing is the pulling the data is a challenge.
How can that be addressed?
How can that be addressed is something again they will look at us only chartered accountants.
Customizing the ERP.
Customizing the ERP may be one option, but this is a too small thing for somebody to customize their ERP, because in the whole, for a big company, export company, in the whole scheme of things, only for this return, customizing the ERP, that cost will be more than the script in some cases. So again, it depends on a case-to-case basis. Yeah, as you said, if it's a big company, they are claiming more credit, more scripts, then they have to. Otherwise, there is a lot at stake. If it is a small company, then they may take chance.
Cost records will be.
Sorry?
Cost records.
Typically, yeah, cost records. Or somebody is undergoing a cost audit, probably for them it may be an easier option. They'll have the data ready.
Can it include also something like municipal taxes also?
Sorry, sir?
Can the data also include something like municipal taxes also, or is it only that whatever like only electricity duty, or only those are considered?
So anything broadly, electricity duty, VAT and petroleum,
Yeah.
then stamp duty. These are the three things which are majorly considered in the. That is the information they are asking for.
Not the state duties.
No, state duties. No, anyway, stamp duty is a state duty, so that information they are asking for. And the other condition, the final, there are two important things here. Is one is while we get scrip immediately after export. Like we export today, we will file shipping bill, then we will process. Maybe in a month or so, we will get the scrip in the DGFT portal. There is no condition of realizing foreign exchange for getting the scrip. So we will get that scrip say after a month, and then immediately after that we say we have imports, we can utilize it. But the thing is that we have normally under FEMA the timeline is 9 months. So we cannot wait for 9 months, therefore they are granting scrip immediately. Tomorrow if they come back and say, okay, you have claimed these scripts, show me the proof that you have realized, we should be in a position to give, otherwise this has to be paid along with interest, like in any other government scheme. And the interest runs up is about 15% on a customer, 15% per annum. And the other thing is that these scripts can be sold if you are not able to utilize it. While for exporters it is okay. Suppose if I am only importing and trading, so I don't have any exports, therefore I am realizing I am depending on somebody. So I thought, okay, anyways I am getting a discount, why can't I save some cost? So if we buy this scrip at discount, anyways, normally these are available at discount. The risk is that if the exporter has obtained it fraudulently, which we may not be in a position to check, so then the customs can go behind both of them, the exporter and the guy who has purchased this scrip. So this is a big litigation which is going on currently. So therefore we will have to put appropriate clauses in the contract so that if something goes wrong, you will have to compensate me for that. So yeah, these are the two critical things. One is 9 months. Within 9 months we have to realize so that we will not have to repay it back. I think which most of the cases it will happen, but unless if there is any non-realization, then again we may have to take RBI permission all of it to both ends.
So this includes any country, no sir? Nepal also, Nepal.
Any country. It is not country specific. Like maybe 10 years back, before 2015, these export incentives were country specific. There are groups, like various schemes were there. Now everything is clubbed into. Before this, there was a scheme called MEIS. Before that, there are many things like focus product, focus market. Like that, there are multiple schemes. So all of them are consolidated into one under MEIS. Same thing is carried forward